So I just got back from seeing Mickey 17 in theaters, and if you're new to this channel, we do honest reviews. I'm not doing any crazy edits or clickbait to try to make you stay or watch it. This is just me telling you guys how it is. I'll be going through different parts of the movie, saying what was good, what was bad, and giving my final ranking at the end of the video. If you like this type of normal content, consider subscribing and joining the community. Let's talk first about the premise of the movie. In a futuristic version of Earth, scientists came up with a method of cloning humans. They created a 3D printer for the body and a way of storing and uploading the memories for this clone. This concept in and of itself is very interesting, and the parts of the movie that explore this are, in my opinion, the most enjoyable parts. The movie spends exactly 31 minutes setting up this backstory of how the procedure was banned on Earth for political and religious reasons, and therefore a rich politician played by Mark Ruffalo pushes for this procedure to be allowed in space to help with their exploration of a new planet. These 31 minutes also take the time to show the 4-year journey in space that Mickey goes through to get to this planet. These concepts are the good parts of the movie, seeing how scientists use Mickey as a lab rat for a way to learn about and cure diseases, and just exactly how society in general treats these expendables, as they're called. But after these first 31 minutes, we get more into a few different storylines, and this is where I think the movie struggles, as it feels like it's both exploring too many things and not focusing on what I want to see more of. We start to learn about the planet they're exploring as we see Mickey interact with the alien creatures on it, but we don't learn any more than that about the planet itself. We start to learn more about how things were on Earth, which is cool to see a futuristic version of Earth with sandstorms and such, but it doesn't go further than that. It kept feeling like it wouldn't go deeper on the things that I found interesting. Instead, the movie shifts to the politician character of Mark Ruffalo, and you find out he's really a Nazi, which seemed kinda random. They make him pretty dumb and have his supporters wear red hats. Now, I'm not going to share personally how I feel about that because I don't want to alienate half my audience, but I think that's what Hollywood forgets, is that half the country gets offended by this type of messaging and the other half thinks it's great. Now, I'm not surprised that the movie chose to focus on this specifically rather than the sci-fi lore that it brings up, because that's Bong Joon-ho. His movies are mostly about class struggles, which is what makes them great, and there are parts of that in this movie, like how all the people on the ship eat shitty food and Mark Ruffalo and his wife get all the good food, but it just doesn't land as well as it does in, let's say, like Parasite or Snowpiercer, and I think that has to do with the satirical and comedic tone of the movie. Anyway, about halfway into the movie, we get another concept that I really enjoyed, and that's the concept of multiples. This is brought up and really is what carries the film into the climax and the end of the movie. Before I get into the story points that this brings up, we first need to talk about the flawless visual effects of putting 2 Robert Pattinsons into the scene. While I'm willing to guess some of it is a body double with a face replacement, there's a scene with both of them shirtless with seemingly the same body. So either they found an actor with the same body as Pattinson, or there's some complex visual trickery there that I'm definitely more curious to learn about. The story of the multiples, as they're called in the movie, is essentially most of the messaging in the film. Basically, his soul is split into 2, so the original Mickey 17 is shy, reserved, and introverted version of himself, while Mickey 18 is arrogant, cocky, does drugs, and extroverted. You can see the differences between the two of them, like how they deal with the trauma of their mother's death. Mickey 17 thinks that it's all his fault for pressing the button and causing the car to crash, while Mickey 18 doesn't and probably hasn't really dealt with it. I don't know the exact term for this, I'm sure a psychology person could help me out in the comments if it's Freud's ego and id, but the overall message to me is that you need both to succeed. Like, these 2 personalities and people separately doesn't work, but both of them combined is what you want. Mickey 18 dies at the end of the movie, but that doesn't mean that that part of Mickey is gone forever. Mickey 17 then starts to ask himself, what would Mickey 18 do at a point of facing conflict? Because those type of traits that Mickey 18 has are valuable in that situation, while a shy trait like Mickey 17 has isn't. So like I said, to me, you need both. I think Mickey finally does find both at the end, and that's why the last line of the movie is, "It's okay for me to be happy." That's just my analysis of the movie with the multiples after watching it, but if you had a different opinion, let me know in the comments. But overall, here's my review. I think the movie was funny, but I don't think that's one of its strengths. I think it would have benefited from being more serious and focus more on the sci-fi vibe. Like, I would have preferred to get more lore and a bigger sense of scale in the movie. I also think that political stuff, regardless of what side you fall on in America, is just tiring at this point. The directing is really great though, Bong Joon-ho does a great job, and like I said, the visual effects for the double Robert Pattinsons are amazing. While I don't agree with some of the story choices, the movie is structured very well to keep you into the movie. There's not any boring scenes or changes in momentum, which I like. So I'm giving this movie a 3.5 out of 5. And if you guys are curious about my other movie rankings, you could check out my Letterboxd and let me know in the comments your rating and what you thought, and we could talk down there.